It felt like yesterday. I was just driving my grandma's Chevrolet.
First opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Superdome in downtown New Orleans. Today, we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Cincinnati Bengals and the New Orleans Saints. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Here we go. Here's Burrow to throw right away. He finds his running back, Mixon. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. It's a gain of 34.
Well, that's something that this defense is not going to be able to allow if they're going to have success here. They've got to be able to wrap up and get guys on the ground. They end up letting him get away, and it turns into a big play here early on. I can just see veteran observers of the game shaking their heads and talking about the dearth of tackling in the game today.
On the ground, this is Joe Mixon, and he'll take this one down to about the 40. On the stop there defensively, Marcus May with the tackle.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. So give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that.
Here we go. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. And the catch made, it's Tyler Boyd. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's made at the Saints' 24-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first. And defensively, these corners struggled last week. They're struggling again here early on the opening drive.
And you know that was not unnoticed on tape. So when they saw their struggle last week, guaranteed they went right into the game plan, attack them early, see if they're going to play any better, and if not, you keep the pressure on them until things change.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, Burrow. Got a man, it's Chase, he completes it. And the Bengals are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down, and this has been a great opening drive. You know, at this point, they'd hate to settle for 3, but they've created a fresh set of downs and a 1st and goal.
1st and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. That's to Chase, he's got it. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Jamar Chase, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Building confidence after a loss, that's a good way to do it. The loss last game, but first drive here in this one, cashing it in for 6.
And they can talk all they want about putting a loss behind them. I think that drive there did more than any conversation they had, don't you think?
That's exactly right. Puts that to bed. And this is what they said all week long. A lot of things they needed to do differently. Whatever they said appears to have worked. after the touchdown. McPherson on to kick this one away. And here's Jakeem Grant from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Winston and the Saints now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
They'll try again from the 20 on 2nd and 10. The first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
That's exactly what you're looking for at the inside linebacker spot. Versatility. He can drop into coverage, or as he did on that last play, use his speed to get to the perimeter and knock the ball carrier for a loss.
There's Chris Olave. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
I do think that sometimes on 3rd and long, many defenders just get caught watching the sticks instead of watching the ball. And the guy who's got it, because here, they just got the ball into the receiver's hands and told him to do it yourself, a little bit of a desperation play. And he was able to take the short throw and turn it into a big gain and a conversion on 3rd down. That's a big pickup.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. The tackle there by Jermaine Pratt. The Saints at 3-2, a game over 500 here to start the season. And they come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
Meanwhile, Winston's throw complete there to Smith. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
That's a gain of 8. Brings up 3rd and 2.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Winston on 3rd and 2. Open man is Michael Thomas. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice, sustained series to begin the game. It will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
Back to the ground. It's Kamara. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Sometimes I think these defensive tackles get a little bit of a bum rap. We just see them as big guys that eat up blockers for others to make tackles. Oftentimes, they're quicker than they get credit for. And this time, he uses quickness to make a play.
On 2nd and 11 now. Winston. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down. That's already the 3rd time they've looked his way on this opening drive. He's caught 1 of the 3.
That doesn't mean they won't continue to go in that direction. It feels like they think they got something good going there, and they think those numbers are going to increase.
On third down, Winston.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted.
Trey Flowers picks it. Past the 20. And he will bring it back. It's a pick six for a Bengals TD.
CD, what a sensational start for this defense. Instead of just forcing the 3-and-out, which they were about to do, they pick it off and take it in for the score.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't just settle for the standard good way to start a game. They started in dramatic fashion. Take it away, score points, and guess what? They'll be flying to go back out there on defense again after that play.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And that'll make the score 14-0.
14, Saints, nothing. Evan McPherson, the kickoff for Cincinnati.
So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
On the return from his end zone is Grant. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
Saints take over first down 10 at their own 12-yard line.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They've been outplayed early, no question. Down 14-0 already as they come up first and 10. He's going to rifle one deep left side.
And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Well, when it comes to throwing the deep ball, no one has ever questioned the arm strength of Jameis Winston. And this is a beautiful throw right here.
And that's how you start a drive, because you know they have this play in their back pocket, waiting for the right time to unleash it. And boy, did they pick the right opportunity. Unleashed it big time, and that was also a big-time throw.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
$14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
14, Saints, nothing.
Ready. 6 yards left on second down.
Jameis to throw it.
Finding Johnson on the out route. That's complete.
And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
I tell you what, it looks like he's shaking off that pick six just fine. It's not just defensive backs that have to have short memories. Quarterbacks utilize that as well. A much more confident throw right there.
The former ASU Sun Devil, Eno Benjamin with it.
And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage.
Score that tackle for loss to the Wyoming alumnus, Logan Wilson.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. To throw, Winston. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the headlines, but incomplete. So the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
The Saints on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is third down and 12. Now Winston.
And oh no, it's incomplete. Well, it's a touchdown if he holds on, but somehow took his eyes off of it, falls to the ground, and brings up fourth down.
Will Lutz now to try the New Orleans field goal. And this a 39-yard attempt. The kick by Lutz is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So not exactly the response they were hoping for, but they'll take the 3 to at least get them on the score sheet.
Yeah, now is not the time to panic. All is well. Somewhat calm. Only down 14-0. So continue to play your game. Take the points when they're there. Put the emphasis on your defense to go out and get you the football back.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. From the end zone, here comes Williams. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. The Bengals drive about to get going.
As the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments to prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
Throwing now, Burrow on first down. To the right side and complete to Hurst. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be second down.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
On second down, here's Mixon. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down.
It's a gain of 2 yards.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
Here we go.
Burrow going for it on fourth. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Saints are going to get it back and in great shape. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Winston now. They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
A first down throw for Winston.
And this ball incomplete. Looked very much to be a catchable ball and could not hang on. Second down coming up.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Now Winston. Targeting Thomas on the out route, making the catch. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is a receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Winston. He finds his man Johnson. And I don't think he got there, no. He's short by maybe a foot, maybe. Call it 4th and inches.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
Already down 2 scores. They're going to go for this rather than settle for 3.
They run. It's Kamara. And this is going to be nowhere close. Needed some inches and ended up losing yardage. Alvin Kamara unable to push past that yellow line. And the Bengals will get the football back. A chance to get some momentum here in the 2nd quarter, getting their first trip into the red zone, but unable to get it across.
And if I'm the head coach, sure you feel some disappointment, maybe a little bit of deflation there because you didn't get it in. But I'm going straight to rah-rah mode. All right, guys, we didn't get it this time. It's only the 2nd quarter. We'll be back. Let's get it later on. I want to keep this team up. I want them to feel like they've let everyone down.
Positive.
Got to be positive in this situation. It's too early to think that you don't have a chance to win this game.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, 9.9 times out of 10? Just missed that one.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. And they go play action now. Burrow runs over. This is caught. It's Boyd. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. The slot man in motion right.
Gotta go.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And the running lane's non-existent in this 1st half as they'll stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the 1st half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Dancing to his left. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore.
And the Saints are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT.
He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And that is incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
On second down, Kamara. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
Because his primary job is defending against the pass, you don't often see a cornerback making tackles in the backfield. But he's playing run all the way here.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
Here's Winston. Completes it to Benjamin.
Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short.
The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Fourth down, Winston.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked off by Von Bell.
And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. The one side gets an interception, but their defense comes on the field and picks them right back up by getting a pick of their own.
And I think you saw the same thing that I did, Brandon. As he ran off the field after making that play, we saw his quarterback seek him out and offer a personal thank you to bail him out a little bit as the offense takes the field again.
Here we go.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He's got his big tight end. That's Hurst. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They'll give it to Mixon. And he'll take this into the end zone for Bengal TD.
Joe Mixon as the first half is winding down. And the Bengals will extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And the lead is up to 18 now.
Bengals 21. Saints 3.
So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the 24-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Play fake. Winston. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And the Bengals grab it. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery and a Cincinnati touchdown.
Well, Charles, not only did they fumble the football, but they're starting to fumble away their chances here a little bit. We've got a 3-score ball game now here in the first half.
And the last thing you want to do, partner, is help the other team with what are avoidable turnovers. You want to hang on to the football because you're already playing against a good team. You're just making it easier for them by giving them extra opportunities.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. Taking it about the 1. So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Saints going to go on offense first, and they trail here as we begin quarter number 3. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
First and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
A CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one. Just what they need, a lecture from me, but subpar offense is what helped get them into this spot. And now they're continuing the trend with incompletions. That won't get them out of it if they don't change something soon.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9. To throw is Winston. This is complete to Michael Thomas. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely, maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches. Here we go with Kamara. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. Throwing, Winston. Over the middle, into the hands of Michael Thomas. A good gain on first, has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. They go play action. Winston.
And this one too low.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going, trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the 3rd quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
Play number 7 coming on this drive. It's 3rd and inches. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's 1st and 10 up at the 46. A 10th carry for Kamara. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. They run it again with Kamara. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Well, this defense, they've got the 4-score advantage, and you can see why they continue to bottle up the run game, and really they've just been sharp in all facets here in this one, CD.
Yeah, they've kept that offense in check the entire game, and I think it's been led by what you just talked about, that defensive front, which has not allowed them to run the football and establish control of the line of scrimmage. The goal is certainly to try and make a big play happen and climb back into this game, but you have to be careful. If you overdo it, you could turn it over and hurt your team.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Here's Winston. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 33. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Yeah, their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Glad to be in the great city of New Orleans, rolling along here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd and 10.
To the air again with Winston.
He completes it to Olave.
And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 13-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Still in search of their 1st touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Winston.
That's Olave bringing in another one.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it's 2nd down.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 9-yard line.
Jet sweep. Here's Olave.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Ready.
Jameis to throw it. And, Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Jesse Bates. He's at the 50, 30, 10. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD.
And, Charles, for this offense, those interception woes they kind of had in the first half have now followed them into the second half. And for this defense, they take advantage, turn that into a pick 6.
And that defense is in a spot now where they're thinking about ways to close this game out. And as confidently as they've been playing, I expect them to do exactly that.
35, Saints 3. Evan McPherson in the kickoff for Cincinnati.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
On the return from his end zone is Grant. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. 7 yards there and a first down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the front.
And so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
On 2nd and 9, Winston. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
On 3rd down, Winston. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure.
Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of them. Here comes the Saints punter now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Oh, the return is Williams. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. A 3rd quarter score now from MetLife Stadium. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. The Bengals drive about to get going.
The first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll stay on the ground, mixing again. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
This one caught by Isabella. And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. Burrow going for it on 4th. And he's got Dorsett complete. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Philip Dorsett his first touchdown on the year. And the Bengals look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this fourth quarter. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. On the return from his end zone is Grant. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This would be their third straight defeat. Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Here's Kamara on the read option. And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
To throw, Winston. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, I mean, look, obviously there's no 20 or 30-point play in that playbook, but they can try to end things here on a positive note despite trailing big, and that looks like what they're trying to do here by pushing the ball downfield.
Well, let me go with the heavy cliche then, partner. Just control what you can control right now. And all they can control here is how their final plays develop.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. On second down, here's a keeper by the QB. And that is not going to get it done either. Once again, he's stopped behind the line by this Bengals D. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
A third down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Winston. Here's Johnson with a reception. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Fourth quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board to make this thing look just a little bit better.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now Winston. To the right side and complete to Thomas. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 43. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 43. On play action, Winston. This is Smith with a grab. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. Give him 30 yards there. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. The play fake. Winston. This is caught. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
So still throwing here in the 4th quarter with a pretty sizable lead. And now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up. And he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to, because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off.
From the end zone, here comes Williams. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the 4th quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. And even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
Brandon, I think you and I were both raised the same way in the game of football. You run to set up the pass, but I think we've discovered in this NFL, a lot of teams pass to set up the run. And that's what they've done throughout this game. They've aired it out, thrown it around the yard. Now they've come back to the running game, and they find a way to be successful with it.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. They'll try to eat some clock with Mixon. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
And it's 3rd down.
Here we go.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Here we go.
And they go play action now. Burrow. Trying to lay one up deep. Oh, wide open. Complete. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, when coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all three phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we have been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
On the return from his end zone is Graham. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming games.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally,
and now on the pitch, the ball's loose.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely.
11 mighty! 11 mighty!
It's Mixon on the counter. And he'll go down at the 26, following a gain of 6.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
This goes out wide for Mixon. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
Burrow on third down. Able to find Isabella.
And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
You see, it's two type of people in life. It's people that wake up and wish they had it,